This is going to be a video of an 800-mile review of my Trek Verve Plus 4S and some updates I have done along the way. I took a ride out to Lake Kashkanang by Vinny boat landing, and nice March afternoon. And here's what we have. It's time to do another video on my Trek Verve Plus 4S. I've made some upgrades. When I purchased this bike, the only reason I purchased it was because my wife wanted a Trek Verve Plus 4. We looked at the price of new ones, and they listed at the time for $4,000, give or take. And that was more than what I was comfortable spending, so $8,000 for two bikes. So went online marketplace and found two of them. A couple that was moving or going to Florida, and they didn't want to haul theirs down there, so they just bought new ones down there. Must be nice. So I ended up with this one. I already had an e-bike at the time that I liked. Mid-drive, 500 watt, Chinese thing. It was nice. The pedals were farther forward. Not like a recumbent, but farther forward than this. It had front suspension. It had a throttle, but it was still torque sensing. It wasn't as nice as this. So I have this, and it hasn't been the most comfortable for me. I am on the far side of a half a century and somewhat heavy. So from the factory, this bike really wasn't set up for me for comfort, but I'm sure it was set up for someone just right. So what I have done is I put these handlebars on. Got them off Amazon. Because the straight bars that it had, my hands fall asleep within a mile when I ride a bike with straight bars. I know a lot of not young people that ride bikes, and they have the same problem. As soon as they switch to something that doesn't have straight handlebars, get your hands in this position versus this, then it alleviates a good part of the problem. So the handlebars. To do that, I needed to lengthen the shifter cable. There was enough cable for the your keypad. There was enough extra to do what I needed to do, and the brake cables, brake tubes, because it's hydraulic disc brakes, were just long enough. So that is literally all I needed to do to put these handlebars on, and I really, really like these handlebars. This mirror, this bar end mirror, I'm not a fan. Where my arm is, I only get to see half the mirror. So this will probably be replaced. I had a mirror on my straight bars that I really liked, but it wouldn't work on my curved bars. So now I need to get a mirror that mounts up here and sticks out a little ways. I'm fine with that. I'm not looking for aerodynamics. I want to know what's coming up behind me. The next thing I did was put this Cloud9 seat on. I had a wider Cloud9 seat. It was wide back here off of my other e-bike, which was perfectly comfortable. But my legs were farther forward on that other e-bike when I'm pedaling than this bike. This bike, they're more straight up and down, so the wider seat would hit me on the back of the leg right here and got painful after a while. So then I ended up with a narrower Cloud9, not the narrowest, but a narrower one. And I got one with the little springs in the back. That was a marked, however you want to call it, improvement over stock. And the stock seat post had a little spring in it. For my frame, that little spring was compressed all the time. So I got a Sun Tour spring seat post, and what it does is these two levers go like this, and to make the seat up and go up and down. Instead of straight up and down, it sort of goes back and up, and it's fully adjustable for different weights and stuff. So between the Cloud9 seat, the springs in the Cloud9 seat, and this thing, my Tuchus has a plush ride. You hit the bumps and they don't go jarring up your back. That was worth all the money there is to be spent on something like that. Cannot think of a better improvement for this bike for me. Another thing I have done recently is I put this Dorix, look on Amazon, front rack on. I like the looks of it. It feels nice. It's aluminum. I can't tell you how well it works yet because I haven't put anything on it. I did recently get an extra battery for my Trek, and I made a battery box to take the extra battery along with. I found the extra battery on Marketplace. Some poor couple put their bikes on their front porch, took the batteries out to charge them, and the next morning they had batteries but no bikes. So their son-in-law or whatever put the two batteries on Marketplace, and for a very decent price I got two batteries for less than it would have cost me for the price of one through Trek. So two extra batteries, sweet. One is for my wife and one is for me. One happens to match her bike perfectly. One is a light blue, so I will be somehow making it either black or yellow. I don't feel like spending the $70 for the Trek battery cover, so I'll do my own little thing. Another little addition I did was this fender mud flap. I made that literally all I did was I had an old waste can, like an office size, desk size trash can, or I picked one up, I don't know, $2 at flea market or thrift store, don't know. And it was the right consistency of plastic, hard enough but not too hard, soft enough but it doesn't fly in the breeze. And I made that, put a couple of nuts and bolts on there to put it in, and it keeps a lot of the goo off of my Bosch motor. I love that. That really helps. If you want to look really sporty, don't do that. If you want to keep the mud and water off your motor, cool, do it. It's not a new addition, but another addition I did was this Topeak Quick MTX Track removable bag. It's a quick release right there, and then there's a rail system that bolts onto your factory rack, and you just hit that quick release, slide it off, and I can put it on one of my other bikes. The sides here unzip and fold out into panniers, good size panniers. The top unzips and will expand up, plus it opens up, so there's plenty of room in it. It was just shy of $100 and worth every penny. As far as how do I like my Trek Verve Plus 4S, I like it. It's not the perfect e-bike, but I do like it. Like I said, I'm well past a half a century, and I'm not the lightest guy around, closer to Pillsbury Doughboy than a pretzel stick. But so with that being said, once I change the handlebars, once I change the seat stuff, it's comfortable enough now where, excuse me, last August, I did a 50-mile bike ride up in Mercer, Wisconsin for the Loon Ride. Half of it, I rode with the motor off. It's that comfortable. I like the big, tall tires, and these are like heavy-duty tires. They're wider. I mean, they got to be 2 inches wide. So they're not your little skinny tires, which is great for some of the gravel trails. And they hold 60 pounds of air. They're 700 by 50 Boontraggers. These are the factory tires. I love the tires. I love the fact that I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it came with fenders, came with a rear rack. I love the torque sensing Bosch mid-drive motor. I don't know how many watts it is. It's like 86 Newton meters of torque. But I sort of kind of wish it had a throttle. Because let's face it, if you're buying an e-bike, sometimes you just want to take the easy way. It does have 4 modes of assistance: Eco, Tour, Sport, and Turbo. 95% of the riding I do is Eco. But when I hit some hills or it's getting late and I don't want to be out after dark, I may put it on Tour. Once or twice I put it on Turbo up a stupendous hill. But most of it's an Eco, and I get 50 to 60 miles range. Like I said, I'm not a lightweight. A lightweight would probably get 70 miles range. The bike is now comfortable for me. I can go 20 miles without having to get off, which, I mean, that's as good as you can expect on anything, except for my recumbents. My recumbents, I can sit on them all day until my legs give out. But for an upright bicycle, yeah. The ergonomics now, with the seat the way it is and the handlebars the way they are, for me, like I said, this is not everybody, this is just for me. Yeah, they're good. My hands don't fall asleep. After 20 miles, my left hand might start to get a little tingly. But hey, when you've been screen printing with a squeegee for 20 years, your wrists and hands don't do what they were supposed to do to begin with. The ride is good. It shifts good. I like the shifters. Shifter. It has a double toggle. Thumb for down and finger for up. I added the bell. On the bike trails around here, that's totally necessary because there's more people walking than on the bike trails. So yeah, I like my Verve Plus 4S. Like I said, it's not the perfect bike for me, but right now, for an upright e-bike, it's the closest that I've got. And the only thing I think that would make it better is front suspension, because gravel rail trails, sometimes the front suspension would be nice. Other than that, it's a really good bike. The Bosch motor is fantastic. It's Trek quality. So yeah, once I made it ergonomically work for me, yeah, I would recommend this bike.